Welcome to the Consultant Supervision team. Look, I couldn't be more thrilled to have you on board as our newly hired senior site architect. Today, we're diving right into how this all actually works. Think of this explainer as your day one orientation. We're going to map out exactly what you'll be doing out on site, how your role fits in with the rest of the crew, and most importantly, how we take design documents and turn them into a physical, safe reality. Let's get right into it.
All right, here's a quick rundown of our agenda for today. We'll start off with welcome to the team, then cover the 3 architectural roles, followed by tech architect document review and site architect inspections. After that, we'll hit controlling the quality and finally wrap up with the bridge to handover.
Section 1. Welcome to the team, controlling project execution.
Okay, so here's the absolute foundational rule for us. As consultants, our job, well, it's not based on personal opinion. And honestly, it's not even just about your past site experience. We literally have to control the project against approved traceable references. Your job is to make sure the contractor builds exactly according to approved documents. You know, things like the Dubai Building Code, IFC drawings, and approved shop drawings. We are the ultimate shield against uncontrolled assumptions and random verbal instructions. Bottom line, if it's not documented and approved, it doesn't happen, period. Moving right along to Section 2, the 3 architectural roles: office, package, and site. Now, on these massive projects, we don't just have one generic architect running around doing everything. It's more like a giant puzzle. We have a senior technical architect who's basically in the office about 70 to 80% of the time, just totally obsessing over technical correctness and compliance. Then we've got the architectural package lead. They split their time between the office and the site to manage specific multidisciplinary packages. And then there's you, the senior site architect. You're going to be out there on the ground 70 to 80% of your day, and your main focus is strictly on installed quality and workmanship. Which brings us to Section 3, Tech Architect Document Review, catching errors before the site. So you might be wondering, what exactly is the senior tech architect doing all day while you're out sweating in the field? Well, they are meticulously grinding through documents using a really rigorous workflow. Step 1, they check compliance against the baseline IFC drawings. Step 2, they verify specifications, making sure, for example, a wall isn't just a wall, but has the exact required fire rating. Step 3 is a buildability review, basically asking, hey, can this actually be built on site? And Step 4, they coordinate across multiple disciplines. Think checking ceiling heights against massive mechanical ducts. They're basically neutralizing threats before a single brick even gets laid. To put that into perspective, look at the actual risks they're catching. A wrong wall type, that's a massive fire and life safety risk. An uncoordinated facade means you're almost guaranteed to get water leakage. Without these office checks, you'd be dealing with absolute chaos out on site. So when somebody hands you a clean, approved drawing in the field, you really have your technical architect to thank for saving you from, well, a literal mountain of rework. All right, Section 4, Site Architect. Inspections. Your boots on the ground. Okay, let's talk about your primary tool, the IR, or Work Inspection Request. The definition here is absolutely crucial. An IR is a formal request from the contractor asking us to inspect completed or staged work. Remember, a proper inspection isn't just you casually wandering around the site with a coffee to have a look. No way. It is a highly structured, formal process that you control. I really want you to burn this temporal workflow into your memory: before, during, and after. Before you even step foot on site, you verify that the approved drawings, material submittals, and test plans are actually in your hands. Actually, scratch that. Let me emphasize this. If those documents are missing, you stop right there and reject it. Do not proceed. During the inspection, you're checking dimensions, materials, and coordination. And after, you must record the formal status. That before stage, that's your gatekeeper. Don't let uncontrolled work slip past it. So during that actual inspection, here's exactly what you're hunting for. You are checking the setting out and dimensions, making sure the materials perfectly match the approved samples, and you're heavily scrutinizing the workmanship. You're also looking incredibly closely at MEP and structural coordination. Why? Because a structural deviation, like say a slightly shifted column or the wrong slab level, that instantly becomes your architectural nightmare when you try to fit doors, ceilings, or facades around it. And of course, you're constantly verifying fire compliance and waterproofing. It's all about life safety and keeping the building watertight. Now, what happens when you find a mistake? How do you actually document it? An incorrect, completely unhelpful comment is just writing, "not acceptable." I mean, that tells the contractor absolutely nothing. A perfect professional rejection comment, like the one we have right here, references the specific approved documents, states exactly what is wrong, and clearly dictates the required action. It says exactly why the gypsum board failed and what they need to do to fix it. That is how you command respect and control a site.
Section 5. Controlling the quality, the jargon of the job. Beyond your standard IR, you're going to be dealing with the MIR, or Material Inspection Request. You use this the minute materials arrive on site. You've got to check them against approved samples, certificates, and expiry dates before they ever get installed. For instance, you don't just accept a fire-rated door because it looks heavy and door-like. You have to physically check its fire rating certificate and hardware compatibility right there on the back of the delivery truck. If it doesn't match the paperwork, it doesn't come off the truck. Period. Next up is the heavy hitter, the NCR, or Non-Conformance Report. This is a formal quality control tool that we issue when work, material, or processes completely fail to meet approved requirements. But look, I want to be really clear about this. An NCR is not just a punishment. It's a tracked system for identifying repeated defects, failed tests, or, and this happens all the time, concealed work. You know, when a contractor tries to hide something by pouring concrete before you had a chance to inspect it. NCRs bring serious visibility to those kinds of systemic issues. And that brings us to a hard, non-negotiable rule. NCRs are not closed by words. You can never, ever close an NCR just because the contractor verbally promises you that they've fixed it. You need hard evidence. We're talking rectification photos, official test reports, replacement certificates, or formal QA/QC closure records. Without that concrete, undeniable proof, that NCR stays open. Now, let's look at a critical difference that catches a lot of people out. The difference between a site instruction, or SI, and a request for information, an RFI. An RFI comes from the contractor asking us for clarification. But an SI is a formal instruction from you telling the contractor to correct, stop, or proceed with something. You have to be incredibly careful when issuing SIs. Why? Well, if you instruct a change in scope, you might accidentally create massive cost or time variations. Always run it by the project manager if an instruction might unintentionally change the design or blow up the budget. Section 6. The bridge to handover. Bringing it all together. At the very end of the project, you'll be doing what we call snagging and desnagging, basically the final grueling quality review. When you go back to verify that a defect was actually fixed, you follow these incredibly strict criteria. First, you make sure the defect is actually corrected. Then, you ensure that their correction didn't somehow create a brand new defect somewhere else. You verify that any replacement materials match the original approval, that the whole area is fully cleaned, and you get photo evidence on the record. Basically, you ensure the contractor didn't just casually paint over a crack, but actually fix the root cause without breaking something else in the process. So, taking all of this in, from the rigorous, meticulous documentation checks by the office team to your strict, uncompromising quality control out on site, are you ready to be the bridge between design and reality? Because you play a genuinely vital role here. You are literally the person transforming flat office documentation into a safe, fully compliant physical building that people are going to live and work in for decades. I really hope this orientation has armed you with the structure and the knowledge you need. Welcome to the site team. Now let's get out there and build something incredible.